welcome to an Everyday Canines video. In this episode of the Beginner's Agility Training Series, we're moving on our jump skills. We're going from shaping the jump to adding in a bit of independence and adding in a cue. So hopefully your dog is now taking this jump wherever you see it. Now you'll notice I've still got the puppy bump on there. I'm working all this low level. I'm taking away the challenge of jumping because even when we have a small pole on here, it's another thing for the dog to think about. They've got to think about what we're doing, asking them to do, and also about jumping. And that means the pole can get knocked, and we don't want to teach our dog to knock poles. So it's much better to start at this stage with the puppy bump, which is just there. It's just there as a marker and to indicate the dog isn't just running through, but we're not putting that pressure on to jump at this stage. What we want to see now, our dog is going back and forth. Good girl, go get it. Over the obstacle independently. What we want to be able to do is move on. We want to be able to be back here and send our dog through, because ultimately we're not going to be stood next to a jump going. If you have to do that as a handler, you're going to be in big trouble when you get to some of the bigger courses. Now, if you follow me, you'll know I do a lot of distance handling. In fact, that's my primary thing. And most of my training will focus on getting the dog to do things independently. Obviously, you can run with your dog. It's not going to be an issue. But we're going to be doing most things with me stationary. And this is the way that a lot of top handlers are doing things now. They teach everything with them stationary and only add in the running when the dog is able to do things independently. That means that they can get lots of distance, lots of sending out the dog, and that's what they need because the courses are getting bigger and bigger. So this is what you want. This is the foundations. Okay, so to start with, we want to add a cue to this jump, because once we've got the cue, we can then start moving away from it. Now, there's a couple of things to bear in mind. I will be throwing out my treats still, but I'm now going to be here facing the jump, and what I want my dog to be looking ahead. This is where it gets tricky with your mechanics and your handling, and we all have faffs with this. So I'll show you what this needs to look like with Swift. Okay, so I want her to sit here, and I want her to look out, jump. And notice she looked ahead the whole time. What I don't want is them looking back for the reward. And this is where it gets tricky. Did you get it, my love? Have another one. Because it's all to do with timing of your reward. If you throw your reward in too soon, what you're doing is effectively, you're not really learning how to do it. They're just teaching them to run towards a reward again. It's a lure. If you throw in too late, you get the head looking back. So what we really ideally want is, as our dog is going over there, the treat lands in front of their head. This can be tricky with your mechanics. If you have a lot of trouble with this, you can use what they call a treat and train, which is a remote treat dispenser. You can have that up there. However, I find that a lot of dogs become fixated on that and they stop actually taking in what they're doing. They're just so fixated on getting to that object that they're no longer interested in this. So what we want to aim to do is be able to have our dog go over looking ahead. And this is something I'm still working on with Magpie. So I'll show you what we're doing to show how we're going to get up to where Swift is, where she looks forward and drives on. Good girl, let's swap you. We're going back to our shaping game. But I'm now here. Now you see she's looking back. Good girl! I dropped. Where'd it go? There. Now the reason I quickly rewarded that is because she looked forward and ahead. She looked for the treat ahead. I want to see her looking forward. Yes, good girl. So she's looking where the treat is going to end up. So at this stage I am still using just treats that I'm breaking up, but I'm going to move to a... So I don't want that, okay? Yes, good girl. So you see, she's looking ahead. That was bad for me because she looked at me the whole time. What I want is her looking ahead for that treat. So no, she's looking at me. Yes, good girl. So I could see she was looking. I'm going to try not saying yes. No, she looked back. I want to reward her when she's looking forward. So I want to be even a bit quicker than that. So I don't want her looking at me when she goes over that jump. It is tricky. It's something we're still working on. Come here. She's still looking a little bit, so I'm going to try and be a bit quicker. That was good. from me, because she was still looking, but I'm getting that ahead, okay? That was good. Come here. I've got to be ready for you. Yes. So she's still flicking, but if I can be a bit quicker, yes, I can get it on the floor. Search for it. Search for it. There, look. If I can be a bit quicker, I can get her marking the treat. And it's just trial and error, and you learn your mechanics. And what we're teaching the dog is that you look ahead, because the reward is coming ahead. Yeah, that was good. So if I'd been a bit quicker. Nice. So I might try not saying a word, because that's when she's flicking her head back. I'm just going to let the reward land in front of her. No, see, she was looking at me the whole time then. So because the reward is coming in from that side, I'm going to just switch hands. So she doesn't, it's not always coming from that side. There, you missed it. And you see she's going to miss it if she doesn't look forward. There it is. So she's got to be concentrating on her head, because if she's not concentrating on her head, she can't see where it lands. Search. Now, good girl. It's definitely looking better with Magpie compared to, she's not looking at me the whole time. Once we're now getting to a stage where she's consistently running forward and not looking at me, then what I can do, search, get it, I start adding in my cue. Now, to just go over one jump is the jump cue for me. I have 2 cues for jumps. Come here, my maid. Sit. I have jump, which means take the jump that's directly ahead of you and drive over it. This is very useful if I need to differentiate between, say, there's another obstacle around, there's a tunnel, say, and I need them to do the jump. It's very useful. I also have a go cue. And go it's a bit more general cue. It's a drive on cue. And I can use it on, good girl, that was nice because you were looking forward the whole time. Search. So it can mean drive on a straight line on a flat, but it can also mean drive down a line of jumps to the next obstacle. So at this stage, I'm going to be using my jump cue because I want this to be a jump. But I will also be using go cues at times. So just so you understand, I will show you how to introduce that go cue at another time. Okay, so we're just going to go jump. Oh my word, your mum can't throw. That does happen. Your mum is a useless throw. Okay, so as she's going over that jump, can you wait? Okay, jump. I say the word as she's doing the behaviour. Jump. Jump. Because I want her to link the behaviour with that word. So it's no good me doing it too soon, because that's not when she's doing the behaviour. If I do it now, she's sitting. Now, obviously, eventually, we'll be doing it as a cue to take her off, but at this stage, we're just adding that in. Come here, lovely. Jump. And now, obviously, like with all things, we do have to switch side. This may throw her because I've done a lot of work on that side. Jump. It's ahead of you. It's ahead of you. When you're doing this with your dog, you may find it's good to do one session one side, one session the other side. Because it does throw them. Jump. Good girl, it's over there. But she wasn't as confident because she's still learning, and I changed sides. So they do very much learn in context. One more. Jump. Good girl. Okay, so I'm going to call a stop there. Did you get it? Because she's done loads, and I can actually see she's getting tired. I think you got it. So that's how we're introducing, good girl, how we're introducing the jump cue. And the jump cue is going to be used when we want them to drive out and take a single jump. Good girl. So I hope you've enjoyed this Everyday Canines video. And if you have, you might subscribe to the YouTube channel. And you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram. And hope to see you all again very, very soon.